And welcome back to part number 2 of the Sideline Chat podcast, where I'll take you through the Challenge Cup wrap up and preview the round 14 of the Super League fixtures. So Huddersfield went down to the Wigan Warriors 14 points to 16, so meaning the Wigan Warriors have won their Betfred Challenge Cup for 2022 in what was a very seesawing affair. It was a close game, which is what we wanted to see. Both teams scoring plenty of tries, 3 tries apiece, in a matter of fact. And with the only team getting goals from the tries was Harry Smith on the Wigan Warriors, as Tuilaroa got a penalty goal early on for the Huddersfield Giants to open up the scoring for the match, was their penalty goal there. That to say, Harry Smith, to seal the victory for the Warriors was a magnificent way. It was the last tackle with about 4 minutes to go, really, in the match. And he put a nice little grubber kick through a beautiful gap that was in the Giants' defensive line and found Liam Marshall, who crossed over to put the result to bed there. The Lance Todd medalist has kind of written here, went to Chris McQueen, so man of the match, if it is what that is about. Thoroughly deserved. He did score a try for the Giants alongside Jermaine McGilvery and Ricky Latelli. Now, McGilvery's try, there wasn't that much room. He was going down the right-hand touchline in the second half of the match, and it was that close of, like, if he had one shove, he would have been over the sideline. Yeah, but he somehow managed to stay in, managed to keep control of the ball and put the ball down to put the Giants in front before, as I said, Marshall's try at the end there. Ricky Latelli was the first try scorer of the match. He put Huddersfield into the lead, extended their lead before the Warriors come back and ultimately won. Harry Smith was opening try scorer there for the Wigan Warriors, and Jai Field was the second try scorer there for Wigan as well. Now, his try was set up by Bevan French, who in the first half was also going down the right-hand touchline, same as with Gilvery, but earlier on in the match. And with Jai Field in support, just not offloaded, set him up beautifully, which put Field over there. Now, one of the commentators to say was I can't remember what word, but he called them the fast twins or something like that. So if Bevan French or Dryfield got the ball, there was no chance they were going to get stopped whatsoever there. That's how quick they are. But it was a good match, good close contest. So coming into the last few minutes when the Giants were ahead on points, 14-10 at the time, Giants fans would have been very, very nervous heading into the last phase of the match. But once Liam Marshall crossed over, it was luck up 4-all with Harry Smith slotting over that last conversion for the Warriors doing. Disappointing for the Giants. Also, they would have absolutely gutted to lose in a match that had so much on the line. But they made the finals, which is well done to them, and well done to the Wigan Warriors for winning the Challenge Cup for 2022. Now we have got our Super League fixtures back this week, starting off with the Warrington Wolves up against the Leeds Rhinos, and we have got the 21-man squads here. I'll run through the squads for the Rhinos first, followed by Warrington Wolves. We've got Blake Austin, Jack Broadbent, James Donaldson, Brad Dwyer, Morgan Gannon, Ash Henley, Zach Hardacre, Corey Johnson, Cruz Leaming, Reece Martin, Mustafa, Richie Myler, Jared O'Connor, Oledsky, Matt Pryor, Cameron Smith, Liam Sutcliffe, Zane Tinavato. and Sam Walters. And for the home side, we got Cole Amor, Matty Ashton, Jason Clark, Darryl Clark, Mike Cooper, Ben Curry, Oliver Holmes, Toby King, Ellis Longstaff, Dylan Gullius, Peter Mattaudia, Robbie Mulhern, Joe Philbin, Stephen Latchford, Joe Thulis, Danny Walker, Gareth Widdop, George Williams, and Connor Wrench there. So pretty much full strength side there for the Warrington Wolves, which is good to see coming into this match against the Leeds Rhinos. Now, as of late, the Rhinos have only won 3 out of the past 6 matches. Those wins coming against Toulouse, Hull KR, and Wakefield, being in the last match. And as for the Warrington Wolves, they've only won 2 out of the past 6. Those coming against Salford and Huddersfield. So the team that's on a better form heading to this match are the Leeds Rhinos, based on the last 6 games. And there were wins against Wakefield was a convincing one, but against Hull KR and Toulouse for the Rhinos when they won, the Hull KR Rhinos won 12-0, and they won against Toulouse 25-14. So they weren't that convincing of victories compared to the one with Wakefield. But with the Warrington Wolves, their wins have been pretty convincing. It was a 32-10 win over Huddersfield and a 32-18 win over Salford. But Warrington are heading into this match at the back of a narrow loss to St Helens, when St Helens won 12-10. And then the week before that, they absolutely got destroyed by the Catalan Dragons, 40-18 there. So this matchup could go either way, but based on form, I reckon that the Leeds Rhinos will win this match in the 7-12 margin. Connor says the Leeds Rhinos will win this one 1-6. So we both go to the Leeds, but different margins respectively. Who knows what's going to happen? As I said, Warrington have got a pretty full strength squad, which I think is the first time in a long time. So that should help them there. But under new coach Bowen Smith there for the Rhinos, he's only coached a couple of games and lost. He's won 1 heading into this match, so we could have back-to-back wins for the first time for the Leeds Rhinos under new coach, and Connor and I both believe that they can. The following match, also on Friday UK time, it is the Catalan Dragons up against the Huddersfield Giants. We do have team lists squads, I should say, for this matchup as well. We're going to start off with the Huddersfield Giants, who have come off that Challenge Cup loss narrowly. Jack Ashworth, Jack Cogger, Sajud Kudjoe. Apologies for that wrong pronunciation if I got it wrong. Matthew English, Ash Golding, Joe Greenwood, Sam Hewitt, Josh Jones, Michael Lawrence, Ricky Latelli, Danny Levi, Suey Lola, Jermaine McGilvery, Chris McQueen, Adam O'Brien, Will Price, Innes Senior, Lewis Senior, Owen Trout, and Jake Wardle. With the home side of Catalans, we've got DaCosta, Davies, Desiria, Dudson, Garcia, Woodamon, Julian, Cassiano, May, McElwain, McMeekin, Moore, Pierce, Romano, Suja, Tompkins, Whitley, and Yaha. Catalans are still missing Dylan Napa, but they do have Gil Dudson there, so he'll definitely be a good defensive player there and attacking player as well. He's got quite a good attacking game on him, which is brilliant to see there. Huddersfield, they'll be, as I said, looking to bounce back after their narrow Challenge Cup loss to the Wigan Warriors. And based on form in the league fixtures, the Giants have had 3-3. So the last 3 games, the Huddersfield Giants have won. A narrow victory over Wakefield, then a 10-point win over Wigan, and then a narrow 1-point win over Toulouse that was heading into the Challenge Cup. Before that, they lost to the Rhinos. Sorry, had a draw against the Rhinos and then lost to St Helens and Warrington. As for Catlands, they've only lost 1 in the last 6 games. That loss coming 14 points to 8, lost to Hull FC while winning every other match, including the 18 points to 10 victory in the French derby. Before having convincing victories over Salford, Castleford and Warrington, and Colgate as well. Being over at Stade Gilbert Brutus, Catlan's home side, I would think that Catlands would win. But how Huddersfield have been playing going into Challenge Cup and how they played in the Challenge Cup final, Huddersfield could cause an upset here. So Connor has said that the Huddersfield Giant, he said the Catland Dragons to win 7 points to 12. I've actually got to go the other side and say the upset of Huddersfield beating Catland. So I'm going to say Huddersfield going to win this one in a 1-6 margin. It's going to be a very good game indeed. Catland's Huddersfield. Now, the first of the Saturday fixtures, we have got the Castleford Tigers over the Wigan Warriors there. We will still be celebrating a very good win in a Challenge Cup final. We've got the squads again for this match. So the Wigan Warriors have got John Bateman, Jake Bibby, Kate Ellis, Liam Farrell, Jai Field, Bevan French, Joseph Havard, Willie Iser, Liam Marshall, Matt Nicholson, Oliver Partington, Sam Powell, Joseph Shorrocks, Patrick Simone, Brad Singleton, Harry Smith, and for the home side, Chase Blair, Brad Eden, Kenny Edwards, Farah Faramio, sorry for the pronunciation for that one again, Fanua, Griffin, Lawler, Martin, Massey, Atagi, Shane, Milner, O'Brien, I'm going to get this on one, Cure, still learning that one, apologies guys there, Richardson, Smith, Truman, Watts, and Wester. Man, so it looks like that Wigan have pretty much named the same lineup as what they named against Huddersfield in that Challenge Cup final. So I mean, it's been a week, 6 days, 6 to 7 days since their victory. So the players that have plenty of time to have rested up there, ready to go back into the league fixtures, and they can focus that on for the rest of the year. Now, for the Warriors' form, they've won 3 and lost 3, and they had 2 losses heading to a Challenge Cup final. So that Challenge Cup final helped them get the form back to where they were before those 2 losses. The losses coming against a heavy loss to St Helens, as I said previously, the 10-point loss to Huddersfield, and a 9-point loss to Hull. So the wins coming a heavy win in favour of them against Wakefield, an 8-point victory over Salford, and a thrashing of Warrington there. As for the Tigers, they have won 4 out of the past 6 matches, with the losses coming against Salford and Catland Dragons. With the wins, a convincing victory over Wakefield. They did beat St Helens, which was a surprise there. They narrowly beat the Rhinos and absolutely destroyed Hull K. So the Tigers have been there or thereabouts, somewhat to an extent on par with the Wigan Warriors there. over the past 6 matches there. But if you count 7, well, it's the Wigan Warriors. But Challenge Cup and the league ties are completely different. The intensity is different, as Challenge Cup is do or die. And this is the long run game for the overall honours at the end of the season. Connor has said Wigan to win this one 7-12. I mean, this, I think, in a way, could be a close encounter. But in saying that, the way that Wigan performed in the Challenge Cup, it showed what they have been capable of all year. Huddersfield, they're a bit hot and cold despite the last 6 matches, saying 4 from 6. So yeah, Connor has said Wigan 7-12. I'm gonna go with Wigan Warriors 1-6 as well, or 1-6. Purely based on how they played in Challenge Cup, they'll carry that momentum into this match against Huddersfield Tigers, who haven't played for a little while, or not for a while, or over a week, I should say. Now, the next matchup, we have got Toulouse Olympique versus St. Helens. We all know what happened the last time these two met. Do we have lines for this? Yes, we do. We've got the squad. Starting off with the reigning premiers, well, reigning champions of St. Helens. Joe Batchelor, James Bell, Jonathan Benison, Ben Davies, Grace Wolf-Opawade, Conrad Howell, Morgan Knowles, Matty Lee, Johnny Lomax, Joey Lassick, Tommy Makinson, Sione Mataudia, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, Dan Norman, Ignatius Parsley, James Roby, Curtis Sirenen, Alex Walmsley, Jack Woolsey, and Jake Whitfield. As for the home side, we've got Lucas Albert, Daniel Alvaro, Ilias Bergel, James Cunningham, Andrew Dixon, Tony Gizo, Chris Hankinson, Harrison Hanson, Matthew Jerusalem, apologies there, Anthony Marion, Roman Navarrete, Corey Norman, Joseph Borlo, Eloy Pelicia, Dominic Peru, Maxime Hooch, Matthew Russell, Justin Sangari, Patrell Strumuku, Kel, Maximus, and Maximus Stefani. Apologies for the pronunciations of some names in that match here. So, with both teams having a week off due to the Challenge Cup final, they'll both be fresh and ready to go. The Saints form heading into the match, so 1-5 from 6 after going down to Castleford in that 20-point loss. Had a narrow win against Warrington last time out. To 1 over Hollisley convincingly. They narrowly beat Salford by 4. They beat Huddersfield by they won against over Huddersfield 24-12, and they beat Wigan convincingly 22-4 back in mid-April. As for Toulouse, the last 6 they've only won 1, and that was over Wakefield, and they won by 6 points, and that was the last win. With the losses being a narrow defeat to Huddersfield, a heavy defeat to Hull. I wouldn't say heavy, so like a medium kind of defeat to the Rhinos, a narrow loss to Hull KR by 4, and by 8 in the French derby. I can only see this going one way. Connor says St. Helens 13 plus. I would like to say Toulouse because we both said St. Helens to win against Toulouse last time out, but we all know what happened there. but it was not a full strength St Helens side. This time round, this is a full on St Helens side. They're going to be very, very hard to stop indeed. Who knows, miracles could happen, but I'm going to say St Helens to this one. With this one, 7 points to 12. They've been in that bracket for the last few matches, so that record will continue there. So 13 plus for Connor, St Helens favour, St Helens favour for me, and 7 to 12. Now for the second and last match of the weekend, and the first on the Sunday UK time, we've got Hull KR up against the Salford Red Devils. We don't have any lineups for this match, so it's purely based. Well, I'm just going to rattle through the form of both of these sides. So we start off with the Red Devils as the away side. They've won the last two over, and they've lost the last four before that. So the 2 and 4 from the last 6 matches. The win comes against Castleford and the Leeds Rhinos. The losses between St Helens, Wigan, Catland, and Warrington. As for the Robins, they're 3 and 3 with the last 3 before the week off last week. So heading into this week, they've lost the last 3, which were 20 to 8 point loss to Catlands, a 32-0 thrashing by Castleford, and a 12-0 loss to the Rhinos. But the wins before that was a 32-10 win over Wakefield, a 28-24 victory over Toulouse Olympique, and a 16-4 victory over Hull FC in what was rivals round. So Hull KR haven't been in the best of form as of late as Salford. You could say the same, but at least they've won the last 2 compared to the Robins, who have had no Lachlan Coote until against, I believe, back in memory, against Castleford or Catlands. I think it might be more Catlands. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Connor will. He might even murder me. Nah, he wouldn't murder me. But that still wasn't enough for the Robins. Now coming against Salford, this one could be a flip of the coin. Don't know what's going to happen in this one. Connor has said Salford 1 to 6. I'm guessing that's purely based on recent form. I'm going to say Salford as well, just purely based on the recent form. And I'm going to say Salford was on 7 to 12. Could be wrong. Flip of the coin this one. Let's have to see how Hull KR play this week after a week off. And for the final game of round number 14, we have got Wakefield Trinity up against Hull FC. There are no squads announced for this match. I'm going to delve straight into the form of these two, with Hull FC winning 4 out of the last 6, and a bad record there. The win coming against Wigan 31-22, winning against Toulouse 48-12, winning against Catlands 14-18, and winning against Warrington 18-16, whilst losing to St Helens 24-10, and against the crosstown rivals Hull KR 16 points to 4. So 4 from 6 ain't bad. As for Wakefield Trinity, well, loss. That's all I can say. A 34-4 loss to Castleford, 54-10 loss to Wigan, 32-10 loss to Hull KR, 14-12 narrow loss to Huddersfield, 20-14 loss to Toulouse, and a 24-6 loss to the Leeds Rhinos. Connor has said Hull FC 13 plus in this match. I have to agree with him there. Wakefield aren't in the flashes of form. They have gone downhill pretty quick after the little run that they had earlier on. probably a month and a half, 2 months ago, that little period when they went back-to-back wins against Warrington, one in the cup final, semi-finals, and in the regular season fixtures. And I think there's another one either side of there's another one or two involved in there, but I can't remember precisely when. And other than that, that is all the games for round number 14. So let's go on to the ladder or table, and since we didn't touch base on it last week, I'll touch base on it this week. St. Helens are in front on top of the ladder with a 11-2 record. So that's 11 wins, 2 losses. Catlands is second with a 10 wins, 3 losses. Wigan are third, 9 wins, 4 losses. Huddersfield sitting in fourth with 8 wins and 4 losses. Hull FC in fifth with 8 wins and 5 losses. Castleford are in sixth on 6 wins and 7 losses, which is the same as Hull KR in seventh, 6 wins, 7 losses there. It's just a for and against that separates the two there. So a very juicy battle there indeed. Wigan, not Wigan, my apologies there. Warrington are on a 5-win, 8-loss record in 8th. Salford are also on a 5-win, 8-loss record, sitting in 9th. Again, the for and against between Warrington and Salford proves to be different, but not that much indeed. So if one of these sides wins, say Salford win, they could leapfrog Warrington, or if Warrington win, they will extend further. But if these two sides win, they'll have to come down and see how much they won by to figure out who's going to be 8th and 9th by the week ends over. As for the Leeds Rhinos, they're sitting in the 10th with a 4-8 record. They could join, or I was going to say they could either leapfrog Salford and Warrington if they win, but Warrington or Leeds will maybe have positional change because Warrington and Leeds are playing each other. Wakefield on a 3-10, 3 wins, 10 losses record, and Toulouse have got 2 wins and 11 losses there. And that wraps up part number 2 of the latest episode of the Sideline Chat podcast. If you like what you hear, click the bell to get notified when this episode and any future episodes are uploaded to our YouTube page. Follow and click the bell for notifications. As I just said, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Follow our socials at Sideline Chat on Twitter and Sideline Chat for our Instagram and Facebook pages there. Hope you enjoyed listening to this part and the previous part that was recorded yesterday. Connor will be back next week. Enjoy round 14 of the Super League fixtures there. Connor will be back and enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you next time.